Today we are beginning our unit of transformations. Okay, transformations are how we move a shape around. Okay, and sometimes that means they change size. Okay, that sometimes means they just change their orientation, meaning they turn or they flip. Okay, or they just move. Okay, all of those things is encompassed in transformations. There are several different types of transformations. The first group of transformations are known as rigid transformations. Okay, and rigid transformations include translations, rotations, and reflections. Okay. When I say rigid, what I mean is the size and shape of the figure stay exactly the same. They are congruent. Okay. They are congruent. Remember, this is the symbol for congruent. Okay. One other type of transformation we will talk about is a dilation. And dilations change the size, but not the shape. Okay, so all the angles of the figure will stay the same, but the lengths of the sides will change. Okay, and that means that they are similar figures instead of congruent. Okay, and we'll talk more about those terms later, but this is just an overview of what we're kind of getting into. Today, specifically, we are going to be talking about translations. And a translation is a slide, okay, or a move, okay, but it's the figure is just sliding up and down or side to side or both side and up, okay, so almost in a diagonal, okay. So a translation just means it's moving around. Nothing changes about the size or the shape, just its location is what changes, okay. So let's take a look here in number one, the graph of a triangle ABC, and you can see it's labeled here A, B, C. Graph the image of ABC after a translation of 2 units right and 3 units up. Okay, so what that means is we are going to take each one of these points and we are moving it or sliding it 2 units to the right and 3 units up. Okay, I'm going to move A 2 units to the right, 1, 2, and 3 units up, 1, 2, 3 units up. And I'm going to label that A prime. This prime notation just means the new point after a transformation has occurred. Okay, you could also have an A double prime if you did 2 things to it, or an A triple prime if you do then another thing. Okay, it's just one way of notating the steps along the way. Okay, so this is the point that represents that original point A. Okay, also then you can tell which one was the original figure and which one was the new figure based on that notation. And that prime notation, it's just an apostrophe. Okay, so we'll do the same thing to B here. We go 1, 2 to the right and 1, 2, 3 up, and we're going to label that B prime. We'll do the same thing to C, 2 to the right and 3 units up. Okay, and you have to do the same exact thing to every single point. All right, and then if we connect these dots here, we are going to notice that our shape here is exactly the same size and shape as the original. It's just shifted. Okay? See that? It's just shifted. Okay? Let's try one more. Okay, this one has 4 vertices that we're moving instead of just 3. Okay, so you can try number 2, that triangle on your own. The graph of EFGH is shown. Graph the image of EFGH after a translation of 4 units to the left and 6 units up. Write the coordinates of the image. Okay. We forgot to actually write the coordinates here on this one, so I'll come back and do this. So A prime, my coordinates are -1, +4. So -1, 4, those are my new. And then B prime is -2, +1. And C is +1, +3. Okay, so we wrote those coordinates there. I missed that last part of the direction. Okay, now in number 3, EFGH, graph the image after a translation of 4 units left and 6 units up. So again, we're going to do each point, okay, 4 units left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up here at the top. And this is H prime. Okay, and then G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's G prime. And then F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I will connect my dots here. And again, notice that this is the exact same shape as the original. Okay, and you can also take a look here at the side lengths. Okay, and H and G, look, the slope from here is 2/1, and it's a negative slope, 2/1 negative slope, and that's the exact same. And then from F to E, so from F prime to E prime is 1, 2, and that's a negative slope, and that's exactly the same on both. So you can check using some of that to help you determine if you're accurate or not. Okay, so my new coordinates here are going to be H prime is -1, +5. G prime is 0, 3. F prime is -2, 2. And E prime is -4, 3. Okay, and that's those coordinates. Okay, all right, you can try number 4 on your own there. Okay, now we're going to do it without a coordinate plane. Okay, so triangle EFG has vertices of 3, -4, 1, -1, and 4, 3. Write the coordinate notation for each translation given. Then write the coordinates of EFG after each translation. So if we are going 3 units left and 5 units up. Let's scroll back up and see what would happen to our number there. Okay, so if I have 3, -4, I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, -4. And I am going 3 units left, 1, 2, 3. What happens to that number just by going 3 units to left? Well, my x value is subtracting 3. So I'm going to do 3 minus 3 is going to be my x value. And then if I'm going 5 units up, that means my y value is going to increase by 5. Okay, so then I'm doing -4 plus 5. Okay, -4 plus 5. All right, so if I went to the right, I would be adding to my x value. If I went down, I would be subtracting to my y value. Okay, so my new coordinates are going to be 0, +1 for E. Okay, so this is going to be E prime. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing to each of the other ones. So F, again, I'm going to do 1 minus 3 because I'm going 3 units to the left, and -1 plus 5 because I'm going up 5 units. Okay, and 1 minus 3 is -2. -1 plus 5 is +4. So my F prime value becomes -2, +4. Okay, and G prime, doing the same thing, 4 minus 3 for my x value, and 3 plus 5 for my y value. So I get G prime is 1, 4 minus 3 is 1, 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, you could check this on a coordinate plane to make sure that you've got the right thing. Okay, do the same thing here for number 8. Okay, so that means E prime here, we're going to do 3, and then this one's 2 units to the right, so we are going to add 2, because when we move to the right, our numbers get larger. Okay, and then 4 units down, which means our y values are going to go more negative, so -4, which means E prime becomes 5, -8. Okay, then F prime is 1 plus 2, because we're going 2 units to the right, and then -1 minus 4, because we're going down. Okay, so F prime becomes 3, -5. And then G prime is 4 plus 2 and 3 minus 4. G prime is 6 and -1. Okay, all right. These next two are exactly the same. Okay, or the next 4 are exactly the same. They just have 4 ordered pairs that you are doing that for. Okay, so same exact thing. You're just doing it for 4 different ordered pairs instead of only 3. Okay, like the triangle. All right. Okay, so for these ones, the pre-image and image of ABCD are shown. Use coordinate notation to describe the translation. So this is very similar to what we did in that last step, except we're describing what is happening using that coordinate notation. So remember the X and the Y's, we're trying to figure out, okay, what's happening to the X value and what's happening to the Y value for each of these. Okay, so for A, it's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And when we go up, that means we're changing our y value. So my y value is being increased by 5. Let's double check that with our C here. Does that also go up by 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get here. Yes. So that is also 5. Okay. So that is correct there. All right, and then we are going over, we are going to the right. So our number is increasing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are increasing both the x and the y value here. The x by 4 and the y by 5. Okay, so when it is asking for coordinate notation, this is what it's asking for. What's happening to the x value? It's increasing by 4. What's happening to the y value? It's increasing by 5. Okay, so let's try that for number 15 down here. Same thing. We're going to do that same notation. So my x and y values here, what's happening to them? So my x values, 1, 2, it looks like it's decreasing by 2. -2, and I'm going to check that on Z here. 1, 2. Yes, that is correct. So my X value is decreasing by 2. Okay, and then my Y value, I'm going from Z down to, oh, just kidding. So I need to go from the X to the X prime, which means I'm actually increasing. So I'm going from blue to green. I'm actually increasing by 2. Okay, so that's why we double check it, right? We got to go from x to x prime here, okay? And then for my y value, I am decreasing by 3. So my y value, it goes down 3, so we're decreasing by 3. And I'm going to check that on my w here to 3 as well. And again, going from my image, my pre-image to my image. Okay, so w to w prime. Okay, this is what is happening. Okay, you can try number 13 or 14 and 16 on your own using that coordinate notation. Okay, and that is translations on a coordinate plane.